Hello, Facebook community. It is Thursday, 7:30, right on time. Just going to give you guys a couple minutes and then also my guests a couple minutes to hop on, okay? So bear with me. Thank you for anyone that's joining. If you're new here, welcome. Um, And then if you don't know the routine here, if you can hashtag live, if you're on watching this live, please do so. If you catch this on a replay, please hashtag replay. That way I know who's all here. And if I'm able to see you on live, I can give you a shout out as well. Okay. So just a couple minutes here. We will have our guest on and we will be meeting with the owner of Tatou Pasefika Dance. Just give her a second to hop on, okay, guys? And also, if you would like to let StreamYard have access to just your account so they can display your name, okay? So that way I can see it if you do post in the comments, all right? Just a couple minutes, guys. Bear with me. Okay, to stream. Oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for jumping on. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining and being willing to participate, Angelica. This last Thursday of every month is dedicated to Polynesian business owners, just to share, what you're doing and how it's going. So, if you don't mind, a little bit of your time, and then I just wanted to welcome any new viewers on here. Welcome to our Facebook group and welcome to the community. We do appreciate your support. And like I said, if you do catch this live, please hashtag live. If you catch us on a replay, please hashtag replay, okay? So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. I know I did say her name already, Angelica, but I will let her introduce herself. And then also just one thing, Angelica, if you can just share with us something that we don't know about you that you would like to share.
Thank you. I'm Angelica. I own a local Polynesian dance group here in Bakersfield, and yeah, it's called Tatou Polynesian Dance.
Awesome. And anything you'd want to share that we don't know about you or maybe no one knows about you?
Um, oh my gosh, I guess. Well, I only like a select few people know this, but a lot of people know that I sing or I've sung for a really long time. But I actually was part of a punk rock group in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
called
God.
"Don't Kill the Messenger," something like that. But yeah,
That's so cool. Do you how many songs did you guys have?
barely any. It was one of those things that started and then just kind of stopped. So there was like maybe a good three or four singles that we did. Yeah,
Nice. You should try to, do a little reunite and do run through your songs. That would be
yeah,
so
that would
cool.
be fun. I don't know. I don't even know where everybody is now. I know one girl's still here in Bakersfield, I believe, but everyone else, I'm not even sure where everyone else is.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's cool. That could be a bucket list, right? But anyways, let's just get straight into it. Angelica does run her business here locally in Bakersfield, which is so cool. I've been able to connect with her, and so that's been a really huge blessing just to have, just more Polynesians in the same city, trying to just help our community. She's doing something really awesome, and I really do commend Angelica for the work that she does. Not everyone can do something like this as a business, right? It does take a special person who has a lot of patience and really loves the culture to want to continue it, right? So, um, I know you said the name of your business, and what exactly are some of the services that you offer?
We oh sorry, I was talking without the thing unmuted. So basically we do shows. We teach obviously Polynesian dance, but we've extended it to all Pacific Islands. But our knowledge obviously is limited at the moment, because of, can you guys like that? Because of the fact that there's not. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm at work too. Um,
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's not a lot of PI representation in Bakersfield, but little by little we're finding more, but they're in little groups. So, for example, I there's another group called Central Valley Pacific Islanders Alliance. They actually started as a way to give like resources for um, for the PI people here in the Central Valley. Um, and they actually reach out to um, little groups of different Pacific Islanders as well. But what I've told them is that most of the time, if you don't like go to church together, you don't usually like mingle together either. That's kind of how Bakersfield is here. But we're hoping with like Central Valley, our dance group, and all of that, we're hoping to kind of like bring those walls down to be able to unite everybody and kind of build our own community here because we've been here for such a long time. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I'm not originally from this area, but I know just being here, that's how I was able to meet you. And so, yeah, you're right. There are little pockets here and there of islanders, and I'm just glad, that we crossed paths, right? But anyhow, Angelica, what made you decide on this particular business to start?
um, when we first started it, it wasn't supposed to be a business per se, but I knew that I wanted it to be legitimate. So I started seeking out like all the things that go with a business, and then one of well event well like one of our cousins reached out and was talking about starting a group, and I told her that that was an idea that I was trying to run with, but I didn't know where to start. And then my husband, we got married in like 2016, the beginning of 2016, and getting to know like his family and like how rooted they were in their culture and everything, it just like inspired me to find something to where I could connect my own children with it. So that was the inspiration behind all of it. But I also understood too that there's not very many PIs here, and that in order for something to I guess thrive, the best way would be to make sure to appeal to the community, right? Not just like say, oh yeah, we're a Pacific Islander group and only Pacific Islanders could dance with us. Like that wasn't the goal I was trying to go for. Even though I understand that a lot of Pacific Islanders weren't very happy about that. Like they say, like some people say, "Oh, you're selling the culture, or you're not. They're not Pacific Islander, right?" Um, but the thing is, what for me, after doing like some, because I'm in school too, um, after doing some papers, I found that for Polynesians as a whole, there's only like 0.01% of us in the whole world compared to the rest of the world's population. So somebody put it into perspective like this. I forgot what the guy's name was, but he said this is how it's compared. So for Pacific Islanders, there's about like 93, 94 million of us. Okay. For that amount of people compared to like, let's say like the Asian community is like triple that. That's how small we are.
Okay,
So like 94 million sounds like a lot, but
right.
it's actually not compared to like the billions of other races that there are out there. So that's why I kind of like opened it up and I said, you know what, I want a group to where everybody feels like welcome. to come to, you know, a Polynesian group and want to dance, etc. Which is why we came up with the name Tatauma. Shout out to my cousin Leanne who came up with the name. So Tatauma obviously means in the Samoan language all of us, and it's supposed to be a name that defines just like the welcoming arms of who we are as Polynesian people.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I didn't know that. You learned something new, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely commend you for that, Angelica. It does take passion. It does take patience, and a lot of a lot of long suffering too comes along with it. But
Yeah.
I like I said, I appreciate the work that you do, and you're right. Our community here is small. Um, yeah, of course, it would be nice to have all of Polynesians in your group, right? Of course, we want to see that, but unfortunately, that's not reality, right? And you're dealing with what you have, and so you make it work, and I
Right.
appreciate it. I've seen your shows, and you guys are doing great. So thank you for that. And then just as far as how it's going overall, your business, and where do you see where do you see your group, in the future? Where would you like to take it?
I'm hoping that we can, you know, be up there with the greats. But honestly, it's not just about the dance. For me, it's about the knowledge and the culture of it. For example, most traditional dance groups you'd go to, you learn how to do their techniques, right? Um, but it doesn't make sense for me, obviously, because this is our heritage. This is something that we just are, right? It literally runs in our blood. So because of that, we teach culture, we teach language, we teach the reasons why you dance, the reasons why you do certain movements, why you don't to perpetuate. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
you're good.
Because of the fact that we're trying to perpetuate cultures, even some that are not my own, right? So, for example, I'm Samoan, but we perpetuate hula, Tahitian, you know, Tongan dance. My girls are half Tongan, thankfully. But like the but because I'm not those cultures, we want to make sure that we represent those cultures in the right way, and also because of the fact that when you join the group, it's not just about the way you look in your dance. It's also about the immersion of yourself into the culture. Because the more that you can relate to it, the more that you can connect with it, the better of a dancer you can be.
Right. Awesome. I like that. And you know what? That just made me think we should be we should be proud of the non-Polynesian people that dance, right? Because they want to rep our culture. Go ahead,
Yes, yes. And
Awesome.
yeah, also because like we have mixed race children, right? So like it doesn't make sense to say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna only accept this half of you," when the whole of them is both of their parents, right? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Right.
So that's another reason why like we said this name would fit perfect, Tato Uma, because it's not just the half that we're representing. It's we're representing you as a whole, but also like we want the dancers to want to immerse themselves into the culture fully. And for us, like for me growing up, my parents have always shown love to strangers, to different people. My grandma, my mom, they are all those type of people that would literally give you the shirt off their backs. And for that reason is the reason why I said, you know what, Tatum was a perfect name, because that's who we are as people. Like that's why most people love their Polynesian friends, because they fall in love with the way that we love.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. We are, I'm proud to be Polynesian because there is something special about our people as far as wanting to be helpful, wanting to love, wanting to serve, wanting to, just have
Yep.
that. There's a spirit about us. And so, yeah, I totally appreciate that. You're right. Um, I know you're at work. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep this short. I just have a couple more questions, and I
You're
know you.
good. We're on a break, so you're fine.
All right, cool. What are some challenges in this business that you've experienced so far, and maybe some things you can share with other people who might be interested in opening some kind of a dance group in their city?
Okay. So I actually read I wrote an article on this with they're called Coconut. I think a lot of people that are Polynesian know who they are.
Yeah.
Um, but they're a TV like slash entertainment hub. But I
Mhm.
wrote an article for them that was talking about not being someone enough, right? So for me, growing up in America, like even though my parents are some full blown someone, speak the language, know the
Right.
culture, etc. Um, just me being raised here is like, oh, you're what did my husband say the other day? You're plastic, right? That's the word, the new word. Yeah, plastic. Basically saying like you're not someone enough because you don't speak the language or you don't know the customs, etc. All of these crazy things, right? So for me, in the beginning, I was really intimidated to even teach Siva, even though I knew how. I was intimidated to teach it because, like, I felt like I wasn't worthy, if that makes sense, because I don't like I can understand my language, but I don't speak it fluently, and
Right.
so for a lot of people, they're gonna say, "Oh, what you can't even speak Samoan, or you can't even, etc., etc." But it's like when you look at it that way. Um, from the from the perspective of the person that does know, it's like, oh, you must be less than because you're less than someone because you can't speak it or you don't know the custom, whatever, all this craziness.
Right.
um but how I overcome that was I understood that literally the blood in my veins is someone. You
Right.
can't get any more someone than that. You
No.
can't. If you even have just one drop of someone blood in you, you're enough.
Yeah.
You are enough. And so that was my whole like coming to moment, when I realized that like it doesn't matter because I'm already seeking the knowledge. Like I might be older, and I might just be learning about who I am as a person, culturally, all of those things. Um, but that doesn't mean that I'm less than just because I don't know or I wasn't raised in Samoa or whatever. Um, and so that was the struggle, was like really pulling my own self together and shutting out all the noise and going, okay, like maybe I didn't grow up in a dance group, or maybe I'm not a professional dancer or whatever. But that doesn't mean I can't get there. That doesn't mean that
Mhm.
I can't allow other people to join me on this journey, right?
Yeah.
So little by little, I sought out mentors. I researched, did a lot of research. I have, and now like 7 years later, I have a lot of friends in the Polynesian dance world, and people that even friends that are not Polynesian themselves but understand the Polynesian world. Like how 7 years later, that's crazy. I don't know. So anyway, my whole thing was um, pulling pulling myself up and saying that I am worthy, and also that I am someone enough because my blood says so, and that's just it.
Right. Absolutely. You go, girl. I love that. And you're right. Um, you know, Same situation here with me and our family. Like we were born out here. My parents came out here. Same thing. Full blown blooded Tongan. We understand it. We just didn't speak it. Right.
Mhm.
There wasn't enough people around. Like it was just. It is what it is. So I totally get you, and I totally understand what you're saying. Like it doesn't get more Tongan than this. But
Mhm.
anyway, same thing for you. It doesn't get more Samoan. So
Yeah, it's kind of a an egotistical way to look at life, right? So for example, the generations before ours, like everyone had this mentality to make you feel like you were less than. They had to and I understand why. It was just like survival, like that was the way people survived and stood out and all of that. But the good thing about this generation now is that we're coming to an understanding that we don't know everything, that we aren't better than the next person, that everybody has their problems, and that everybody may or may not speak someone, and that doesn't make them any less. And so that was another reason why I said, you know what, um I'm starting to realize that that's an ego thing. That someone
Mhm.
saying that I'm not enough, someone enough, is a deflection of something that's going on within themselves, that makes them believe that I must be less than so that they could feel better about themselves. Does that
Oh
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I do love about this generation now, is that there's more understanding and more open arms,
Right.
um, to allowing people at my age to try to come and understand their own culture. And even though, and again, like, just because you didn't grow up in it, or just because you weren't raised like book word for word Samoan and book by book Samoan, that doesn't mean that you aren't,
Yeah.
and I think that that's the big takeaway when it came to me accepting me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. It 100% has to do with your mindset and how you perceive it to be, because everyone has an opinion. They're going to say whatever they have to say, but bottom line is you have to be okay with you
Yeah,
and what you're doing and be comfortable in your skin no
right,
matter what, right? And
right,
so yeah, it is what it is. Like, I'm just barely learning. I'm still learning. I learn every day. And
yeah,
yeah, I can speak now, but I can only speak to my kids. So it's like, but at least we are trying. And so, and I think it makes it easier with the generations now, because we see a lot of intermix, right? A lot
yes,
of interracial, a lot of have kids. So it's
yeah,
like we need to keep our culture going within them and
yeah,
instill whatever we can. So, that never ends. But yeah,
no, it
you're
doesn't.
right. Yeah. But I am happy for you. I'm proud of the work that you're doing. I hope that you don't ever stop. And it's good to see that you've overcome those things, just to get ahead, and just to
Yeah,
pay with yourself and not
yeah,
worry about what they have to say.
yeah.
So, okay. So, just some final questions. If anyone wanted to start this kind of a business in their local area, is
Mhm.
there any special like permits, licenses? Is there anything that they should be aware of before they get into something like this?
So I guess the biggest thing would be w- having a vision for it first. So um there I would want to figure out why I want to do this certain something first. And then if that is um a foundational, I guess, bulletproof plan or vision, then go from there. So for me, after I figured out my vision and the mission statement, right? Why am I doing this?
Right.
Then I went legitimate, and I went and got a business license in the county that I live in. After I got the business license, most times if you're going to do like events or whatever, they'll ask for like liability insurance. So that was another thing that I got into, was liability insurance. Um, and then let's see, business license, liability insurance. Oh, the other thing is too, because some people go, oh, I'm gonna have to rent a whole studio, all of this. No, you don't have to. You can actually find other dance studios that will allow you to use their space per hour. So you can do it that
Okay.
way as well. Um, and then like for during COVID, we actually taught online. So we utilized like free platforms. Like we used I think it was Facebook and Zoom. So the free, obviously the free one. And then and then we also used Instagram sometimes too. So those different things that you can do in case, like, you can't teach it in person for some reason. So yeah, those are the main things I think.
Okay. And then any costs? What do you think? Like maybe an upfront cost would be just to, you know.
It just really the studio space. Like, if and you don't have to start in a studio. You can actually start like, practicing in like a park or like some free public space, you can do that. But you just have to be careful because if they're paying for that, it could become a public event. And so with the public events, there's a city fee for like the parks to use the parks for public events if they're
Okay.
paying for it. So you just kind of have to work see what that how that works because it depends on which public space you're going to be using. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, so you could do that, or you could do it out of your house. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So it's just up to the city and their permits and whatever they require
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
start.
and there's not that many. It's literally like I think for the last event that I was looking for a place for, there was like a fee for the to use the park. Then there's if you have food, there's a food obviously food vendor fee. But obviously it's just a dance thing. So most of the time it's just that, just so you can have the space to use in case like somebody wants to use it for birthday parties or whatever.
Okay, got it. Gosh, it's so embarrassing. Every time I'm on live, I hear fire stations.
You're okay. I just turned because I saw lights over here on this side. So
It's like terrible. Anyways, all right. Well, would wrap. I'm going to just go ahead and wrap this up. Any final thoughts, Angelica, that you want to share with our audience? If they're looking to maybe join your group or support or anything like that, how can they get a hold of you? Or if you want to leave your Facebook page or Instagram
yeah,
handle.
yeah. So you guys can find me at tu underscore Pasefika dot or Pasefika, and then we also have a website and everything like that. But obviously, tu Pasefika is a little hard to spell. So my phone number is 661-448-7545. That's how you can get a hold of me directly.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do appreciate you being on, Angelica, and I hope that everyone in our community is able to learn something about your business and then, catch your information so they can support, maybe tell a friend or family so they can look you guys up, okay? But I do appreciate you being on and much success to you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
Bye.
night. All
You
right, bye.
too.
Okay, so I just want to thank Angelica for being on. Um, I do appreciate her time, and she obviously was at her other job, so she is a hustler, right? Anyways, guys, thank you for jumping on. Like I said, if you caught this live, hashtag live again. If you caught this on a replay, hashtag replay. And then also, if there are any topics of discussion that you might be interested in, please let me know. Next week, I will be back on Thursday, 7:30, just continuing our conversation about Medicare. Okay, so next week, Thursday, back at it again. We will be going over Medicare Part B. And hopefully by now you do know how to get a hold of me. If there's anything that I can help you with, please feel free to shoot me a message, okay? Leave a comment, and I will see you guys again next Thursday. Have a good night, and thank you for joining me, anyone who was on, okay? I appreciate your support. Bye.